These are 10 supplements that actually increase motivation. And I've seen this with my patients that struggle with motivation. So here they are. The first one targets a very important neurotransmitter, not dopamine, but another neurotransmitter that is responsible for motivation. It's also responsible for memory and learning. And so it's something that you definitely want to target, especially if you're deficient in this. And the neurotransmitter that I am referring to is acetylcholine. Now, a great supplement that helps improve acetylcholine levels is alpha GPC, because alpha GPC crosses the blood-brain barrier and helps synthesize acetylcholine, which then helps improve motivation. The second supplement that's really effective and powerful is an adaptogenic herb that can help with motivation. And this adaptogenic herb is something that I recommend a lot to my ADHD patients that can make a huge difference as far as improving not only motivation, but other ADHD symptoms that they might be experiencing, such as stress, anxiety, feeling more depressed. And it's something that I've used as well, that when I was taking it, I noticed not only was my mood improving, but my motivation and drive, my calmness and state really improved. And this herb I'm talking about is saffron. So definitely is something you should check out if you are struggling with motivation. Definitely one I recommend. Now, there's a lot of supplements to go through, so if you don't want to have to write all these down, there's also a bigger list of different things that I can guide you through as far as what supplements to take if you're struggling not only with motivation, but focus or ADHD symptoms. Then you should download my ultimate free ADHD supplement guide that's in the description below. Now, this next batch of supplements is when I'm looking at the best supplements to use, especially when it comes to motivation. A lot of times that has to be directly with dopamine. But the thing is with dopamine, it isn't that we need to per se just directly target dopamine, because I have patients that will take a stimulant medication, but still struggle with dopamine. In fact, when I'll test them, I'll still see their dopamine levels are low. And the reason for this is because there's other things that are deficient that help make dopamine. And that's what we need to be looking out for. And so the first one to be checking and testing is looking at your L-dopa levels to see, okay, are those low? Because L-dopa is really ultimately that does help make dopamine. And so a great supplement to use, and the third one would be is mucuna prurines. And so you can use this to increase L-dopa, which then of course helps with dopamine. Now the fourth supplement is another one that does also help make dopamine. And that is looking at tyrosine, but not just taking tyrosine directly. Sometimes that one isn't as easily absorbed from the body. I like using N-acetyltyrosine because N-acetyltyrosine will help make L-dopa and then of course help making dopamine and then helping increasing dopamine levels. Now keep in mind, if you're not low in L-dopa or tyrosine and you supplement these things, you're not going to really see a difference. So that might not be the culprit. But what could be the culprit, which would be the fifth supplement, is something that is an excitatory neurotransmitter that might be impacting your motivation. And this is known as phenylethylamine. This excitatory neurotransmitter is also responsible for your mood. It's responsible for improving motivation, focus, and memory. And so a supplement that you can take to help improve those levels if it is deficient is D-L-phenylalanine. And so it's an essential amino acid that can improve that, but also it kind of works both ways. So let's say you are low in tyrosine and also you have issues with phenylethylamine. D-L-phenylalanine helps improve phenylethylamine levels, but it also is an essential amino acid that helps make tyrosine. And so it will help the dopamine pathway. This is why I really love D-L-phenylalanine. It's something that I've used personally because I was low in these particular areas. And by only have to take one supplement, it can impact both pathways to help improve motivation. Now, the sixth supplement is you can directly take phenylethylamine, known also as PEA, and that can be another thing that if it's really low, I might use a combination of D-L-phenylalanine and also phenylethylamine to help improve those levels exponentially to help with increasing motivation. Now, I get this is a lot of scientific stuff, labs, what do I do? What supplements do I take? If you want my personal help on this, you can just book your first appointment with me, get that in the description below. That way I can dive into your medical history, understand what labs we need to do, and help them with the supplement process to help with your motivation or ADHD symptoms that you're experiencing. And again, that is in the description below. Now, the seventh supplement is something that I think I don't see talk about when it comes to motivation. And that has to do with a very important hormone that is not only just responsible for energy, because if you don't have energy, it's really hard to be motivated and driven throughout the day. But it also impacts stress, and this is cortisol. So if your cortisol levels are low, for example, you're not going to have the motivation and drive. So what supplement can you use to help improve that? And that is adrenal desiccated or adrenal bovine. You can get in different types of supplements, different companies, but something that has adrenal desiccated or adrenal bovine in it, that can help improve cortisol levels and therefore help improve your motivation and energy. Now, the eighth supplement is pretty kind of similar to what Saffron does, where it does both impact serotonin and dopamine, but it also impacts another important neurotransmitter known as GABA. So GABA is also regulates our mood and our stress levels. And if we have lots of stress, we can't be very motivated and driven. So that's why I love this one. It's probably my number one recommended supplement when it comes to motivation or ADHD issues. It also is responsible for increasing alpha brainwave activity. And so you're wondering, okay, what's alpha brainwave activity? We have different brainwaves, and alpha waves are a state where we're more calm and ready to learn, and it also eliminates distractions, so we're able to comprehend more. So that definitely helps with motivation for sure. And this supplement, which I say is my number one recommend that I usually give pretty much all my patients, is L-theanine. You can also get this from taking green tea, but a lot of times I like to start off with a high dose of L-theanine, especially if you're low on lots of different neurotransmitters that we might be testing for. The ninth one, now this one also helps a lot with both serotonin as well as dopamine, and that is Rhodiola Rosea. I like adding this one. It also can help if you have spiked cortisol levels that might impact your motivation as well. So I'll use that. I typically will recommend it at night, depending on what testing we do find and where the imbalances are. And the 10th one is actually two, but I kind of combine them together because these are different vitamins that I find can impact your motivation and can make a big difference if you're deficient in it. And that is vitamin B6. And so vitamin B6 is responsible for building and modulating pretty much every different neurotransmitter pathway that we've been talking about. So like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA that all impact motivation. And if vitamin B6 levels are low, this can be the culprit of why those neurotransmitters are low and why you're also having issues with motivation. So it isn't just taking vitamin B6. You want to take the activated form of vitamin B6, which is known as P5P. And then the other vitamin is vitamin D. So if you're low on vitamin D, I would recommend taking vitamin D3 supplementation, because not only does that impact your energy, where a lot of people think about it, but it also is part of building and modulating different neurotransmitters as well. And so if this is low, it definitely can be the culprit of why your motivation is low, and it can help improve that. Now, supplements only go so far when it helps to improve your motivation. It's really just the initial stepping stone, but there's a lot more we need to do to help actually increase motivation. So you should watch this video next, where I talk about how to pretty much improve your motivation faster than 99% of people, because I talk more about the in-depth things that you need to be doing other than supplementation. So watch this video next.